with me now is Erik Christensen. He is the president and CEO of Swiss Krono US. Good to have you with us.
Pleasure to be here.
Give us a little background of the company and then how we got started here.
Sure, will do. So Swiss Krono is a global company. We operate 10 plants in 8 countries, primarily in Europe. This is a US site, and we began here in the early 2000s. I can show you kind of what we do.
Yes. You want to walk through that?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
So, and let me back up just a little bit. So in the early 2000s, we produced laminate flooring, and that was really what we did up until 2017. In 2017, we made an investment to vertically integrate, backwards integrate in the manufacturing process to bring in round wood that is then used to produce board into flooring, and I'll walk you through kind of how that works.
What kind of wood is this?
So this is southern yellow pine.
Okay.
Yes, which you know, and which is really kind of explains too why we are where we are.
Yes.
Because this is really the pine basket. Very sustainable resource for us, and very important logistics for us too, having this pine nearby. So we bring in roughly 75 trucks per day of pine. And process that through our facility.
Okay. All right. And then, so here's the pine, and then you make the wood chips from the pine.
So, yeah, really simplifying the process is this pine is debarked and chipped. The chips, you know, come in little squares like this, and these chips are then processed, they are washed, they are heated, they are then they are basically pulverized then, almost think like a wheat mill, pulverizes these chips into a fiber, and then this fiber is further processed. It meets resin in the manufacturing process, and that resinated fiber is blown through these large pipes and goes into what's called a forming bin. From that forming bin, think of it like a cake where you start off with a really thick batter and then it just runs down the line and becomes thinner and thinner. Along the way, it's trimmed and cured and whatnot. So those chips, then the fiber turns into a board like this, for example.
Okay.
That board is cut to size, it's sanded, and then it's used. It can go a couple different directions. I mentioned to you before the flooring that we make.
Yes.
This is a key ingredient in the flooring. In the flooring, this is a sample of what a laminate floor is, and you can see the core, which is that same type of board inside, an HDF, high density fiber board. When we convert that board, or if you will, into flooring, it's kind of a multi-step process. We have paper treating, where we coat our papers in resins, and then we match those papers up, some on the back. There's backer paper, decor paper, and a wear layer. We match those all together, and it goes into a press.
Yeah.
That press then turns this into a large deck, we call it. That deck is then milled in another department and put into a tongue and groove laminate floor.
Now we're in Barnwell County, and so you mentioned earlier, the pine. So this is a really good location for this plant, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
And talk a little bit more about the importance of sustainability and be able to continue to have the pine here.
Yeah, I mean, I think the best way to kind of describe it is that we can, when we did our analysis based on the sustainability and the replanting of pine that happens. I mean, we're not the only people harvesting pine, from this area, but we really won't have to reach. I mean, sometimes we get our pine, 5 miles from here, but we really don't have to reach more than 70, 75 miles for our pine. So it's just, and again, we're not the only ones buying 75 trucks a day. I mean, there's other paper mills and wood producers here that source that pine.
So it's a very friendly environment for you.
Absolutely, yeah.
Both with the workers, but also the environment as well.
Yes, yeah, for
very
sure.
good. Erik
For sure.
Christensen, who is the president and CEO of Swiss Krono US. Thanks, Erik.
You're welcome.